The year was 1945, a big year in world history as the World War II came to an end. It also marked the end of Nazi Germany. There was renewed hope and peace across the world. Closer home, India, under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, was getting closer to achieving total independence from the British Raj. In a remote town of Akola, situated right in the center of our country, a poor teacher couple became proud parents of their third child, a son. The day was 1st September 1945. Seeing his soft spoken nature, he was named Subhash, also called Chotu by his family. The year was 1949. India was bubbling with energy and anxiety as it entered its third year of independence in 1949. It was also the year in which, on 26th November, the Great Indian Constitution, a historic and monumental document, was ready. And the Constituent Assembly of India adopted our great Constitution exactly 2 months later. India became a sovereign republic on January 26, 1950. During such historic times, in a small town of Kamthi near Nagpur, on October 9th, a beautiful girl was born to a police officer and his wife, their second child and first daughter. This little girl was named Lata, synonym of the word beautiful. She was also called baby by her family and friends. Unbeknown to either of them, they started their life journey within a couple of 100 kilometers of each other. Growing up in a lower middle class family in the 1950s and 60s wasn't easy in India. Life was tough, but also was simple and happy. Subhash was happily playing, cycling, and frolicking his young school years, while Lata was spending her childhood with her family and friends, and more importantly, her pets. These were no ordinary pets. There were dogs, cats, parrots, mynas, deers, rabbits, squirrels, turtles, among other animals as her pets. After finishing school at a tender age of 17, Subhash cleared his entrance exam and interview of getting a job as an apprentice mechanic in the Indian Railways, a significant achievement in those days. However, the first challenge was, how will a young boy of 17 years travel to a big city like Bombay, stay there alone, away from his family, and work there?
है दिल है मुश्किल जीना यहाँ जरा हट के जरा बच के ये है बम्बे मेरी जान हा हा हो ही हा.
Going to Bombay in those days was akin to traveling abroad for work and being far away from the family, with no means of communication whatsoever other than inland letters and postcards, which would take at least 8 to 10 days to reach from one city to another. While Lata got busy with her school, playing with her pets, an important responsibility was entrusted upon her at a very young age. Even though she was the second child of her house, she was also the eldest daughter in the household that had a total of 6 siblings. Her youngest brothers were born just a year apart from each other. So when her mother was busy taking care and nurturing the newborn child, the responsibility of taking care of her younger siblings fell upon Lata. She became a mother to her brothers and sister at a very young age. Nature and life were preparing her to become the bestest mother ever in her life and one of the finest grandmother ever. 11th October 1962. A date which is extremely important and significant to the Dixit family. Barely 17 years old, a young, handsome man entered the Central Railway workshop in Parel to join as an apprentice mechanic. Learning his trade, he soon got absorbed in working for the Indian Railways and enjoying his bachelor life with his lovely friends of the 1962 batch, who, incidentally, are friends even today. Little did he or anyone know that his journey within the Indian Railways and Central Railway was going to chug along happily for 43 years, a lifespan.
गाड़ी बुला रही है, सीटी बजा रही है, गाड़ी बुला रही है.
Subhash's closest friend was Benjamin Pereira. Their jodi was like Jay and Veeru from Sholay.
ये दोस्ती हम नहीं तोड़ेंगे तोड़ेंगे दम मगर तेरा साथ ना छोड़ेंगे.
A decade went by with Subhash honing his skills in the Parel workshop, while Lata was happily spending her days with her beautiful and beloved family. Since her father was a police officer, he had a transferable job. They had to move every 3 years to various towns, villages, and cities like Nagpur, Amravati, Gondia, Yavatmal, among other places. May 30, 1972. Exactly 50 years to this day and time. Or should we say, exactly 600 months to this day and time. Or even better, exactly 18,000 days to this day and time. Wow. It was a match made in heaven. It was a day when all the stars, nakshatras, had aligned to present a perfect muhurat for a perfect marriage between two loving souls. It was a Mangalwar. Tithi was Dvitiya, considered to be the best suited for marriage. Shaka Samvat 1894, Paridhavi. During the auspicious Abhijit Muhurta under the Mula Nakshatra, these two beautiful souls were tied in the eternal bond of love and happiness.
स्वस्ति श्री गणनायकं गजमुखं मोरेश्वरं सिद्धितं शुभमंगल सावधान शुभमंगल सावधान शुभमंगल सावधान शुभमंगल सावधान.
It was an arranged marriage aligned through Subhash's elder sister's relation with Lata's maternal family. The ceremony was attended by one and all. Subhash's friends from Central Railway had travelled all the way from Bombay for the wedding celebrations. The entire Dixit and Chaudhary families were there in full attendance. 27-year-old Subhash and 23-year-old Lata looked beautiful and resplendent on their special day. Their remarkable journey had begun. After the wedding and finishing all rituals, the newly wedded couple went to Bangalore and Mysore for their honeymoon. Love and romance blossomed in the world-famous Lal Bagh, Bannerghatta National Park and the Vidhan Saudha in Bangalore, and the Brindavan Gardens and the gorgeous palace in Mysore.
देखा एक ख्वाब तो ये सिलसिले हुए दूर तक निगाह में है गुल खिले हुए देखा एक ख्वाब तो ये सिलसिले हुए.
Back from honeymoon, real life in Bombay began, with the young couple facing their fair share of challenges. It was a time when salaries of government employees were almost negligible. One had to survive on a meager salary. 9th July 1973, a big day in the life of a young couple. They became proud parents of a dynamic, dashing and handsome son, Nilesh. He was the first grandchild in Lata's family. Everyone in the family was elated with the arrival of their Prince Charming. After his birth in Nagpur, Subhash and Lata got him to Bombay and started living in their rented one-room home in RB2 quarters in Parel Railway Colony. For 3.5 years, Lata and Subhash doted on Nilesh, brought him up with a lot of love, care and happiness. 4th December 1976. Subhash and Lata's joy doubled when they became parents for the second time. Their second child and second son, Nikhil, was born. It was sometime in 1977 that Subhash and Lata moved into the RB3 Parel Railway Colony with Nilesh and Nikhil. Subhash began his professional life as a foreman in the millwright section of the Central Railway Loco workshop in Parel, while Lata got busy with bringing her two children up. Today, Parel has become among the poshest and the costliest places to live and work with skyrises and Tony offices springing up everywhere. But back in the 1970s and 80s, it was a quaint neighborhood. But the one thing that it was most famous for was the Ganpati festival.
तूच सुख करता तूच दुःख हरता अवघ्या दिनांच्या नाथा बाप्पा मोरया रे चरणी ठेवी तो माथा.
The entire Parel and Lalbagh area would celebrate the Ganpati festival with all the fanfare. The entire area would be decked up in lights and halogens, with loudspeakers from various Ganpati mandals in competition with each other over who would be the loudest. Ganpati festival is something which was special to the Dixit family as well. Over a period, it became a festival of coming together of the entire railway colony. 10 days of absolute festivities, celebrations, mouth-watering prasad made by Lata and other aunties from the colony. All the young girls waking up early morning to pluck fresh flowers from the colony and the school garden. And then coming home and making garlands for Ganpati, to the evening aarti hopping from the Dikshit house to the Mehtas, Srivastavs, Vikhankars and others. Who can forget the Holi festival in the railway colony? Celebrations of lighting the holy pyre and the housey sessions in the park, to various acts by youngsters, uncle and aunties alike. Spilling of the Holi celebrations to the next day of playing Holi, then heading to the welfare hall for the orchestra, dancing their hearts out with all kinds of colors being used to make their faces a canvas for modern art. Having graduated before marriage, Lata decided to pursue her education. She had to take care of 2 young kids and study for a B.Ed simultaneously. An extremely challenging task in those days for a woman who had never set foot in Bombay before. However, she was tenacious. Not only did she complete her B.Ed with flying colors, she also went a step ahead and got her master's degree. A huge feat for someone like Lata during those days. Armed with her degree and determination to have a career and to earn money for the upkeep of her family and children's education, Lata soon took up a job as a teacher. Days, weeks, months and years rolled out in a routine manner as Nilesh and Nikhil went through school and college. Over the years, Subhash and Lata developed a strong social network in the colony as well as workshop. Subhash joined the Central Railway Institute as a member and then went on to become secretary, treasurer and eventually vice president. Apart from studies, Nilesh started playing billiards and snooker in the institute. He soon became such a good player that he went on to represent the state of Maharashtra in the national championships. However, machines and engineering were his first love, and he had to eventually leave playing the sport seriously as he wanted to pursue his passion, that was engineering. After finishing his engineering from the Father Agnel Polytechnic in Vashi, Nilesh had several job offers which offered decent salaries. A happy moment for Subhash and Lata, but to their utter shock and surprise, Nilesh flatly refused to take up any of these jobs. But Nilesh had other plans. Always a man to speak for himself, someone who always been so sure of himself. He knew he was not made to just take up a job, join the herd mentality and be part of the pack. In 1996, Nilesh started his own company, which was later going to become nationally and internationally well known as Renmak India Private Limited. Nilesh's story is that of utmost struggle and hardships, but he never gave up. He has always been so determined and so confident of himself that he had this reassuring presence about him, which would ooze confidence that all will be fine. Even today, when you talk to him, interact with him, you will never be able to gauge the kind of stress, turmoil he is going through. Yes, he has that gift from God and his solid DNA which he inherited from Subhash and Lata. By the turn of the millennium, Nilesh was well and truly on the way to become an entrepreneur, while Nikhil had finished his studies and had stepped into the world of becoming a journalist.
निखिल दीक्षित, मुंबई, आज तक.
The year 2002 was a watershed moment in Subhash's life, especially his life as a career railwayman. It was as if destiny had been preparing him for this moment. It was the 150th year of the birth of the Indian Railways, and the then Union Railway Minister Nitish Kumar decided to celebrate it in a unique manner. They decided to run a heritage train using a steam engine and coaches like the ones used 150 years ago in 1853. And as luck would have it, the project was given to the Parel Railway Workshop and the Matunga Workshop. Parel was entrusted with the responsibility of getting 2 steam engines ready, while Matunga was given the job of making the heritage coaches. An entire team was assembled in the Parel workshop. Subhash was given the responsibility of ensuring the steam locos were ready in time for the D-Day. It was not an easy task. Steam engines had been discontinued by the Indian Railways long back, and the skilled manpower who knew how to run and repair these engines had either retired or were not readily available. Steam engines themselves were to be identified and brought to the Parel workshop, and whatever rundown conditions they were in had to be repaired in record time. Subhash, along with the entire team of dedicated railway officials, worked day and night to make the project a grand success. The entire Parel workshop functioned round the clock for several days to finally make the steam locos ready for the D-Day. Thanks to the hard work, dedication, and sincerity of all railwaymen from Parel and Matunga workshops, on April 16, 2002, Indian Railways celebrated 150 years of its existence in a manner which was never seen before. A historic train ran from Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus, also known as VT Station, till Thane at exactly the same time and same duration as it had during its first run 150 years ago. The event was a staggering success, with Nitish Kumar flagging off the train full of dignitaries. The historic run was televised across the world. The train was greeted by cheerful crowds at every station, along the railway tracks, and every possible vantage point was taken that day. Subhash, along with his entire team, had made the Indian Railways very proud.
Well, this engine can still work for years together, so long as railways can provide coal and water at different locations.
5th May 2002. The family of 4 became 5. On May 5th, 2002, Nilesh married Payal, or Netra as she is called after marriage. Incidentally, they completed 20 years of their marriage earlier this month. A proud moment for the entire family, and here's looking forward to their 50-year celebration as well. A very happy and emotional moment for Subhash and Lata as they stepped into a new role in their life, that of becoming in-laws. A sensitive love-hate relationship. But in their case, it is more love and less hate, and it is filled with a lot of emotion and love. The year 2005. There was palpable excitement and happiness in the Dixit household as the year 2005 began. Arguably the biggest event in the life of Subhash and Lata. The birth of their first and only grandchild. June 9, 2005. Neil Dixit arrives. A huge moment for the Dixit household, especially for Subhash and Lata. Their happiness knew no bounds as Netra and Nilesh became happy and proud parents to Neil. Subhash and Lata became grandparents. For Lata and Subhash, it was a time to become a child again. 31st August 2005. Another big day for Subhash and Lata. After a dedicated and sincere service to the Indian Railways for 43 years, Subhash Dixit retired from service and from the Central Railway Workshop in Parel. The workshop, which had been almost like his home for 43 years. A workshop which was like a temple for him. He knew it inch by inch. A place which was his life work. A place which was like a therapy for him. He was always happy when he was in the workshop and his office. It was time to say goodbye to a career, profession, a way of life. Everything. You can take Subhash out of Central Railway, but you can never take out Central Railway from inside of him. He breathes, eats and drinks the Indian Railways even today. It is a journey, a relationship which is going to be for life and even beyond. April 2006. Even though it was always known that one day this day would come, it still was extremely painful for the entire Dixit family when it was time to vacate the RB3 266/4 flat in the Central Railway Parel colony. They had spent majority of their lives in this house. It was part of their being. Nikhil, in fact, had spent all his 30 years of his existence in this very place. He was most inconsolable when he had to leave. It was as if he was leaving his identity behind. Life would never be the same for the Dixit family again. An important chapter of the Dixit family is Renmak India Private Limited. The company is a brainchild of Nilesh. He has almost single-handedly built the company from scratch with all his hard work, dedication and sincerity. Renmak is a crown that both Subhash and Lata wear with a lot of pride and justifiably so. Not only have they had a front row seat to the birth and development of the company, they are equally to be credited for having provided a strong platform for Nilesh to live his dream and make it a reality. It is not easy for a family of a government employee and a school teacher to start an enterprise of their own and build it into a big successful venture. Right from using the last penny in the house to taking up loans and mortgaging Lata's whatever little jewelry and ornaments she had, all had to be done and has been done. Subhash and Lata have stood like a rock behind Nilesh and supported him in every way they possibly can. Today, Renmak is known across the country and has made a name for itself internationally as well. Apart from Nilesh, Subhash and Lata, a huge credit of Renmak's success also goes to Netra, who has been the strong pillar of support for Nilesh. As a wife, the uncertainty of dealing with a business, the financial turmoil that one must endure every now and then is not easy. The stress, the challenges, the ups and downs can take a heavy toll on marital relationships. And it takes a strong person and even stronger willpower to stand like a rock behind your husband and support him unequivocally. Subhash and Lata have seen the amount of sacrifice Netra has done for Nilesh, Renmak and the family. They are blessed to have a daughter-in-law like her. Netra, this is for you. The entire Dixit family is forever indebted to you for everything that you have done for Nilesh, Neil, Renmak and the family. Take a bow. The future is here and it is beautiful and handsome. Neil Nilesh Dixit is the torchbearer of the Dixit family and is now ready to take on the mantle and take the family values ahead. A strong young man, imbibed with a lot of self-confidence, Neil is well and truly following his father's and grandfather's footsteps. He is educating himself into becoming a mechanical engineer, and all of us are excited to be part of his journey and will be with him as he decides on how to lead his life. The third generation of Dixits is ready and raring to go. All the very best, Neil. We know you will make us all proud. One more important member of the Dixit family is Karan Mehta. Right from the time he started talking, he has called Subhash and Lata as Ai Papa. For the first few years of his life, he and Ai Papa were inseparable. He is their third child and Nikhil and Nilesh's doting young brother. As they say in the modern day style, Karan is our brother from another mother. Born to Nishit Bhaiya and Jyoti Bhabhi on November 29, 1985, Karan today has grown up to become a very handsome young man, married to a lovely young lady, Nupur. Both are proud parents of two lovely daughters. He is a successful entrepreneur and has made the entire family proud. Karan, Ai Papa are extremely proud of you. 50 years today, going on 75 and then to 100. Subhash and Lata are true embodiments of how to lead life on your own terms without compromising on your values, ethics, and principles. They are a prime example of how two individuals coming from small towns and poor families lead a simple yet meaningful life in the city. Start and set up a nuclear family and make it a resounding success. Through your bond, commitment, and approach to life, you have spread a message of happiness all around you. Dear Ai Papa, we are truly and ever so grateful that God blessed us with parents like you. You are our greatest treasure and our greatest asset. From the day we were born and from the day we become part of your family, it has been a blessing to spend every moment in your utmost care and love. Every child is equally proud of their parents as we are, but for us, you are non-negotiable. We surely must have done some really good deeds in our past lives that God smiled upon us and blessed us to be born as your children. We pray that this bond continues and is carried forward beyond this lifetime. On this beautiful day and auspicious occasion, we pray to the Almighty that may your bond of love and marriage continue endlessly, and may the two beautiful souls continue their journey forever. We wish you a very happy marriage anniversary. Looking forward to many, many more years of this divine bond. Ai Papa, we love you, now and forever. May you continue to bless us with all your love forever. And may Renuka Mata continue to bless you and our family always. This is a heartfelt tribute to you from Neil, Netra, Nilesh and Nikhil.
सबसे बड़ी पूजा है माता पिता की सेवा किस्मत वालों को ही मिलता है ये मौका हो चाहे न पूजे मूरत चाहे न तीरथ जाए मात पिता के तन में सारे देव समाए तू इनका दिल खुश रखे तो ईश्वर खुश हो जाए